You keep waking up at night to use the bathroom, and the strange part is it may not be your bladder causing the whole problem. It may be your legs, your nervous system, your evening habits, and the way fluid moves through your body after sunset. You're watching Senior Health and Wellness. Now that sounds almost too simple, doesn't it? Because when sleep keeps breaking, most people look only at the last symptom. They focus on the urge. They focus on the bathroom trip. They focus on the clock glowing 1:47 a.m. or 3:12 a.m. in the dark. But the body usually gives us the final alarm after the real setup has already happened. And that is what we are going to fix together. Because here is what we know. During the day, gravity pulls fluid downward. It settles in the lower legs, around the ankles, sometimes in the calves. You may see socks leaving marks. You may notice your shoes feel tighter by evening. You may even think that is just normal aging. But when you lie down, that fluid does not stay there. It shifts. It starts moving back toward the center of the body, toward the bloodstream, toward the kidneys, and then the kidneys do exactly what kidneys are supposed to do. They filter, they produce urine, and suddenly the bladder that seemed fine at bedtime is now waking you up when your body should be repairing, regulating, and going deep into recovery mode. That is the first big clue. The second clue is even more important. Night waking is not just about fluid, it is also about tension, tight hips, tight calves, a clenched pelvic floor, a revved-up nervous system that still thinks the day is happening. If the body does not feel safe enough to settle, sleep becomes fragile. Light. Easy to break. And once that cycle starts, it feeds itself. You wake up once, then you start expecting it. Then the brain stays on guard. Then every tiny bladder signal feels urgent. Then even when you come back to bed, the body is no longer in deep rest mode. It is in monitor mode. That is why tonight's routine matters so much. We are not going to do anything extreme. No harsh stretching, no exhausting workout, no complicated protocol that feels impossible after dinner. We are going to use a few gentle movements and a few strategic habits to tell the body. Very clearly, we are safe now. We can drain fluid now. We can calm down now. We can sleep now. And watch this, because one small shift near bedtime can change what happens at 2 a.m. Start with the ankles. This move looks almost too easy to matter, and that is exactly why people skip it. But the ankle pump can be one of the most useful signals you send to your circulation before bed. Sit comfortably or lie down. Stretch your legs out if that feels good. Then point your toes away from you, slowly. After that, pull your toes back toward your shins. Point. Then flex. Point. Then flex. We do it gently. We do it rhythmically. We do not rush. Mechanism. The calf muscles help push blood and fluid upward through the veins and lymph pathways. Why it matters: if fluid keeps pooling in the lower legs all evening, more of it returns to circulation after you lie down, which can increase nighttime urine production. How we use it: we help move some of that fluid before sleep while the body is still awake and able to process it. And notice what else happens here. As you slow the movement down, the jaw softens. The shoulders drop. Breathing becomes smoother. That matters because the body does not separate circulation from stress as neatly as we think. When you feel hurried, braced, clenched, the whole system can stay noisy. So as you point and flex, breathe with it. Inhale as the toes go away. Exhale as they come back. If your calves cramp, reduce the range. If your feet feel stiff, that is okay. If you feel warmth rising in the lower legs, that is often a good sign that flow is improving. We are not chasing pain. We are inviting movement. And let me ask you something. How many nights have you blamed your bladder when your lower legs were quietly setting the stage hours earlier? That question matters more than it seems. Stay with that motion for about a minute. Slow, steady, uncomplicated. This is not dramatic, but physiology rarely needs drama. It needs repetition, and if this kind of practical, evidence-led health breakdown helps you, subscribe now so you do not miss what comes next. Because the next piece is where many people get surprised: the lower back and hips. A tight lower back does not just make you uncomfortable. It can keep the pelvis under subtle stress. It can increase that restless, wired sensation in the body. It can make it harder to drop into the deep stages of sleep where repair really happens. And if the nerves and muscles around the pelvic region stay irritated, even mild bladder signals can feel louder than they should. So now we use a gentle knee hug. Lie on your back if that is comfortable. One leg stays long or bent, whatever feels safer for you. Then, slowly bring one knee toward your chest. Hold the shin if you can. If not, hold behind the thigh. Pull only until you feel a mild release, not strain. Then, breathe there. Mechanism. This movement can soften tension through the lower back, glutes, and hip area. Why it matters. Less tension around the pelvis may reduce stress signaling and help the body shift toward rest instead of guarding. How we use it. A few slow repetitions on each side can prepare the body for sleep better than collapsing into bed while still stiff and wound up. Bring the knee in. Pause. Breathe. Release. Then switch sides. There is something powerful about these slower movements. They interrupt the momentum of the day. They tell the nervous system the race is over. That matters because sleep is not something we force. Sleep is something we allow when the body stops perceiving threat. And this is clear. A body that feels defended does not sleep deeply. Now, watch this. Sometimes the person waking at night does not have a fluid problem first. They have a tension problem first, and the fluid issue is piling on top of it. That is why two people can drink the same amount at dinner and have completely different nights. One body unwinds, the other body stays braced. That is also why we want to look at the hamstrings. These muscles run down the back of the thighs, and when they are chronically tight from sitting, they can pull on posture and pelvic position in ways that create more lower body tension than people realize. Not because the hamstrings are the villain. They are not. But because everything is connected. Lie down again with one foot flat if that supports your back. Lift the other leg, keep a bend in the knee if needed. Hold behind the thigh, then slowly extend the heel upward until you feel a stretch, not a strain, just a clear line of tension through the back of the leg. Then relax it. Extend. Then relax. This is a glide, not a battle. Mechanism. The hamstrings influence pelvic mechanics and can affect how compressed or relaxed the lower body feels. Why it matters. When the pelvis and surrounding tissues stay tight, the bladder area can feel more pressured and the whole lower body can stay on alert. How we use it. Gentle pulsing motions can release enough tension to change how the body settles at night. If the leg shakes a little, that can simply mean the muscles are working through stiffness. If there is sharp pain, back off. We are not trying to dominate the body. We are trying to cooperate with it. That is the difference. And here is a contradiction people miss all the time. The harder we force relaxation, the less relaxed we become. The more we attack the problem, the more the body interprets the experience as stress. So our job is not to win a fight with the body. Our job is to remove friction. Then comes one of the most overlooked pieces of this whole conversation, the pelvic floor. This matters because some people go through life clenching without realizing it. They tighten the jaw, they tighten the shoulders, they tighten the stomach, and yes, they tighten the pelvic floor too. When that area stays braced, the body can misread signals. It can create a false sense of urgency. It can make nighttime sensations feel bigger than they are. So now we use a supported butterfly position. Lie on your back. Bring the soles of the feet together. Let the knees fall open gently. Place cushions or pillows under the knees if needed. In fact, for many people, support makes this work better, not worse. Because the goal is not maximum stretch. The goal is maximum release. Place your hands on your belly. Let the lower body get heavy. Breathe in through the nose. Let the belly rise. Exhale and feel the belly soften. Mechanism. This position can reduce tension through the hips and pelvic floor while encouraging slower breathing. Why it matters. Pelvic tension can mimic urinary urgency and keep the nervous system closer to fight or flight than rest and digest. How we use it. Support the legs, soften the belly, and stay there long enough for the body to stop gripping. This is educational, not medical advice. We're evidence-led, and we manage risk. Now ask yourself something honestly. When you lie down at night, do you actually relax, or do you just stop moving while your body stays tense? That answer changes everything. Because a lot of people are physically in bed, but physiologically still in daytime mode. Their stress chemistry is still high, their breathing is too shallow, their muscles are still holding, their mind is still scanning, and then they wonder why one bladder signal pulls them all the way out of sleep. The final movement brings the whole pattern together. Leg elevation with diaphragmatic breathing. This is where fluid mechanics and nervous system signaling meet in one simple setup. Put your calves on pillows or rest your legs up against a wall if that feels comfortable and safe. The key is to get the feet higher than the heart. Then, place one hand on the chest and one hand on the belly. Breathe in slowly through the nose for a count of 4. Hold briefly. Then exhale longer, slowly, through the mouth. Mechanism. Elevating the legs can help shift pooled fluid centrally, while diaphragmatic breathing stimulates relaxation pathways through the nervous system. Why it matters. Better fluid redistribution. Before sleep and deeper calm may reduce the chance of waking once you are finally asleep. How we use it. Do this for a few minutes before bed, then give the body time to process the shift before lights out. That last part matters. Timing matters. Because if you do this and then crawl into bed immediately, you may still get some benefit, but you may miss the bigger effect. The body needs a little window to process the fluid you just helped move. And that leads to the evening pattern that ties all of this together. Not perfection. Pattern. The first habit is simple but powerful. Stop eating a few hours before bed. Mechanism. Digestion keeps metabolism active, increases internal work, and can raise body temperature when the body should be winding down. Why it matters. Late eating can delay the body's shift into nighttime biology and make sleep lighter or more fragmented. How we use it. Close the kitchen earlier than feels convenient, not because food is bad, but because timing changes physiology. Research suggests that when eating runs too close to bedtime, the body stays busy when it should be transitioning into recovery. And for some people, the problem is not just discomfort, it is a metabolic mismatch. The system is still processing, still circulating, still working. That is not ideal if the goal is deep sleep. The second habit is the one many people resist. Reduce fluids before bed. Not all day. Not in an extreme way. Not in a way that leaves you dehydrated. We are talking about strategic timing. If your pattern is multiple nighttime trips, a cutoff window before sleep may matter more than you think. Mechanism. Less fluid entering. Late means less new urine being produced during the first part of the night. Why it matters. If the kidneys are still handling a high fluid load near bedtime, the bladder gets recruited right when sleep is trying to deepen. How we use it. Taper fluids earlier in the evening, while still using small sips for medications if needed. And yes, this may take practice. If 2 hours feels unrealistic right away, start smaller. Build into it. The body often responds better to consistency than to heroic one-night efforts that disappear the next day. Now watch this, because here is where people accidentally sabotage themselves. They do the right stretches, they reduce fluids, they elevate the legs, and then they sit under bright overhead lights, scroll upsetting news, answer stressful messages, and tell the brain it is basically noon. Light matters, sound matters, atmosphere matters. Because melatonin is not just about darkness in theory, it is about the signals you give your brain in reality. Bright white light tells the system to stay alert. Dimmer, warmer light helps communicate that the day is ending. So if you want the body to move from vigilance into repair, the room has to help. Use softer light. Reduce stimulation. Let the environment support the biology instead of fighting it. Mechanism. Evening light exposure influences the brain's timing signals and melatonin release. Why it matters. If the brain thinks it is still daytime, sleep onset and sleep depth can both suffer. How we use it. Dim the room, lower the volume of the evening, and create cues that feel like sunset, not a command center. You do not need a perfect sleep sanctuary. You need fewer mixed signals. And one more piece may be the most powerful of all. Tracking. Not obsessively, not fearfully, just honestly. Because the body leaves patterns. Bad night? Write down what happened. Late meal, extra tea, salty dinner, long nap, stressful phone call, tight swollen ankles, bright screens, missed routine. Good night. Write that down too. This is where real insight starts. You may notice spicy meals make things worse. You may notice afternoon caffeine lingers more than you thought. You may notice a short walk helps. You may notice your best nights happen when you combine early dinner, lower light, ankle pumps, and leg elevation. That is not random. That is data. And when you collect enough of it, you stop guessing. You stop feeling betrayed by your body. You start seeing cause and effect. You start making better decisions with less emotion and more clarity. That is how we lower risk. That is how we work with physiology instead of against it. So here is the bigger interpretation. If you keep waking at night, the story may not be, my body is failing. The story may be, my body is responding to fluid shifts, tension patterns, and evening signals in a predictable way. That is a very different story, and it opens the door to change. Not instant magic, not fake certainty, but real leverage. Because when circulation improves, when the pelvis softens, when breathing slows, when fluid timing changes, and when the environment starts telling the truth about nighttime, sleep can become more stable. And when sleep becomes more stable, everything downstream can improve too. Energy, mood, pain, tolerance, appetite control, blood sugar regulation, even how resilient you feel the next day. This is why nighttime waking is never just a nighttime problem. It spills into the whole next day. One broken night can change food choices, stress tolerance, and inflammation patterns more than people think. Poor sleep can push the body toward more chaos. Better sleep can begin pulling it back toward repair. So the question is not whether one tiny habit is a miracle. The question is whether a few small signals, repeated consistently, can change the trajectory. For many people, yes. And if you are still here, I want you to do something simple. Tell us in the comments, what time do you usually wake up and what do you think triggers it most? That one answer may help someone else see their own pattern. Tonight, do not try to become perfect. Just choose one lever. Maybe it is ankle pumps. Maybe it is dimming the lights. Maybe it is cutting off fluids a little earlier. Maybe it is giving your legs a chance to drain before you lie down for the night. Small changes can look unimpressive in the moment. Then one morning, you wake up and realize something shifted. You slept longer. You got up less. You felt calmer. The body listened. But here is the warning. If you ignore the early signals, if you keep treating every nighttime waking as just bad luck, you may miss the real mechanism your body has been showing you all along. And sometimes the clue is not in the bladder at all. Sometimes it is sitting lower, heavier, quieter, right there in the legs, waiting for you to notice it tonight.